Let me ask you a personal question. Without looking at your bank account, how many months could your family survive if your primary income suddenly stopped? Would it be 6 months, 3 months, 1 month? Or would the next round of bills immediately become a problem? Do not answer publicly with your income or personal financial information. But I do want you to think honestly about the answer, because while national headlines talk about oil markets, artificial intelligence, job reports, electricity demand, and healthcare policy, families experience those headlines in a much more personal way. The experience that they have is in the electric bill that arrives, when the health insurance premium increases and the grocery costs more than expected, when the credit card minimum barely reduces the balance, when an employer announces reconstructing, or when a company decides that artificial intelligence can help two employees perform work that once required 10. And here's what makes this moment different. These pressures are not occurring separately. They are beginning to collide. New Jersey, my state, and their families are confronting higher electricity costs. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that the country added only 57,000 payroll jobs in June 2026. The unemployment rate remained at 4.2%, but the slowdown in hiring deserves attention. The U.S. Energy Information Administration just made a major revision of its oil price forecast after tremendous volatility in global market prices. Healthcare spending has reached approximately $5.3 trillion, and the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities is openly examining whether the current utility business model is doing enough to create affordability for long-term cost availability. These are not theories. These are official government reports and current economic headlines. So today, we are connecting the dots. What is happening to New Jersey electric and natural gas bills? What does deregulation actually mean? Are data centers and artificial intelligence increasing your energy costs? What could oil prices mean for gasoline, groceries, and transportation? Which jobs are most exposed to AI? Can entrepreneurship become a financial safety net? Why are insured Americans still struggling to afford healthcare? And what should your family do before a recession or another serious economic disruption arrives? Stay with me until the end, because I'm also going to give you a practical household preparedness framework. And I want to hear directly from your thought throughout this episode in the comments. Tell me which category is creating the greatest pressure in your household right now. Energy, healthcare, groceries, housing, transportation, or debt. You do not need to share dollar amounts. Just comment with the one category affecting your family the most. Our team will review the comments, respond with relevant information where possible, and use those responses to determine which cost of living issues we need to investigate next. Welcome to the ME Show. I'm your host, Salim Mehdaoui, and let's talk about what is happening and how we prepare for it. Segment 1, the economy people actually experience. So depending on which headlines you read, you may hear that the economy is growing, inflation is improving, or unemployment remains historically manageable. Those statistics matter, but an American family does not live inside the economic report. A family experiences the economy through its monthly cash flow. A family may earn more today than it earned several years ago and still feel financially worse off. Why? Well, because income is only one side of the equation. What matters is how much remains after housing, utilities, food, transportation, insurance, childcare, healthcare, and debt payments are covered. That remaining amount is your household's financial margin of error. When the margin is healthy, a family can absorb a vehicle repair, a medical bill, or temporary interruption in income. When the margin is small, one unexpected expense can become a crisis. And that is what millions of people are telling us right now. They may be still employed. They may still be paying their bills, but they no longer feel financially secure. This is an important distinction. A family does not need to be unemployed to be struggling. A family does not need to miss a mortgage payment to feel that it is falling behind. A family can appear financially stable while relying on credit cards to close the gap every month. So let me ask you our first community question. Which bill increased the most for your household during the last year? Do not post your account number, provider identification, or private information. Just comment with the category. Is it energy, healthcare, groceries, housing, transportation, insurance, or debt? I want to see whether the official statistics match what families in our community are experiencing. Segment 2, New Jersey electric costs and the reflection on the rest of the markets. Let's start with the issue affecting many New Jersey residents, electricity. New Jersey electricity customers have already experienced substantial increases in their bills. The New Jersey Board of Public Utilities previously announced that changes connected to the state's basic generation service auction would result in the average residential customer paying more than $20 extra per month, depending on utility territories and electricity use. That increase was heavily influenced by rising capacity prices in the PJM regional electricity markets. PJM Interconnections coordinates the wholesale electric grid across New Jersey and 12 other states, plus Washington, D.C. Capacity payments are designed to ensure that enough electricity generating resources are available when regional demand reaches its highest level. You are not simply paying for the electricity flowing into your home at this exact moment. Part of the regional cost involves ensuring that enough power will be available during a heat wave, winter emergency, or other period of extreme demand. The problem is that those capacity costs rose dramatically. New Jersey and other states pushed federal regulators to establish a temporary price collar for the PJM capacity auctions. The ceiling was set at $325 per megawatt a day. That cap prevented the price from rising even higher, but it did not return electricity costs to their previous levels. The New Jersey Board of Public Utilities certified the 2026 results in February and said the price collar prevented even more extreme volatility, but households are still feeling the consequences. Here's what I want to know from New Jersey viewers. Did your electricity bill rise even though your household usage remained relatively normal? Comment yes, and let me know when that actually happened to your family. Please do not post the actual bill or personal account information. I'm not selling you anything in here. We are just trying to understand how widespread this experience is across different New Jersey utility territories. Segment 3. Is New Jersey energy deregulated industry? New Jersey is considered an energy choice or deregulated state, but deregulation is one of the most misunderstood terms in the energy industry. It does not mean your entire utility system is unregulated. It does not mean you can select a different company to repair your power lines. It does not mean a third-party supplier will respond when your electricity goes out. Your local utility still delivers the electricity or natural gas. The utility maintains the local infrastructures, reads the meter, manages outages, and generally continues sending the bill. Depending on where you live, the utility may be PSCNG, JCP&L, Atlantic City E, NJNG, South Jersey Gas. What eligible customers may be able to choose is the company responsible for the supply portion of the electricity or the gas bill. That distinction is critical. Your bill contains more than the commodity itself. It may include energy supply, delivery, distribution, infrastructure charges, taxes. Uncle Sam's got to get what Uncle Sam's got to get. public program charges, and other approved rate components. Changing the supplier generally affects the supply components. It does not automatically eliminate the utilities delivery charges. The New Jersey Power Switch program uses the term price to compare. For natural gas, the price to compare represents the utilities average supply cost per therm, the portion that would be replaced by a third-party supplier's charge when a customer switches. That means consumers should never compare a supplier's proposed price against the entire utility bill. They should compare the proposed supply rate against the utility's current price to compare. And before signing an agreement, ask, is the rate fixed or variable? How long does it remain fixed? Is it only an introductory price? What does it become after the introductory period? Is there an early termination fee? Does the agreement renew automatically? Does the supplier charge additional monthly fees? Is there a renewable energy premium? And will the agreement produce actual savings or simply a predictable pricing? Those are not the same thing. A fixed contract may provide budget certainty, my favorite, without always producing the lowest possible rate. A variable contract may initially appear inexpensive, but exposes a household to future market increases. The right decision depends on the rate, term, usage, fees, and household priorities. That is why no one should promise that every consumer will save by changing the supplier. Every bill and agreement must be evaluated individually. Segment 4 is artificial intelligence raising your electricity bill. So here is where energy and artificial intelligence become part of the same conversation. AI may feel invisible. You enter a question into a computer or a phone, and the answer appears almost instantly. But the answer is supported by physical infrastructure. Data centers require servers. Servers require electricity. Those facilities require cooling. They require transmission capacity. They may require new substations, and they often require continuous power 24 hours a day. The New Jersey Board of Public Utilities has described the region's electricity demand growth from data centers as unprecedented. State officials have said that this growing demand has contributed to high electricity prices across the PJM region and has created an urgent need for additional generation and capacity resources. In earlier testimony, the New Jersey BPU president cited PJM projections indicating that 30 of the anticipated 32 gigawatts of new regional demand through 2030 could be driven by data centers. That is an extraordinary amount of projected growth. This raises a fundamental fairness question. Who should pay for the power infrastructure required by enormous data centers? Should residential customers pay through higher rates? Should the technology companies pay the complete incremental cost? Should new data centers be required to bring new energy generations with them? Should they pay special transmission and capacity charges? And should rate payers receive guarantees that they will not subsidize private technology expansion? This is not an anti-AI argument. AI can create extraordinary economic value, but growth should not privatize the profits while socializing the infrastructure cost. Families should not receive higher utility bills without a transparent explanation of who causes the new demand and who is paying for it. So here's a question for you, the viewer, the listener. Should major data centers be required to pay the complete cost of the new electricity infrastructure they require? Comment, data center should pay. When you agree, or comment, shared investment if you believe the cost should be distributed more broadly because the technology benefits the economy itself. I'd like to hear from both sides.
Still marketing your business like it's the Yellow Pages era? Welcome to ME Studios, where local solopreneurs and small business owners catch up with the digital world and take over it. We help you go from invisible to undeniable. Featured on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Plus, gain press exposure in over 100 to 300 major media outlets like Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, and the CW. Right here in Eatontown, New Jersey, just steps away from the soon-to-be Netflix studios, our multi-unit facility is built for creators, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Stop marketing like it's 1995. Start building your digital authority today with a team that gets it.
Segment 5, what New Jersey lawmakers and regulators are doing. So New Jersey regulators are not ignoring the affordability problem. The Board of Public Utilities is examining possible reforms to the utility regulatory model. In May 2026, the PBU announced a data-driven study of performance-based rate making, multi-year rate plans, and alternative approaches to utility earnings and cost recovery. In plain English, regulators are asking whether utilities should be compensated differently and whether the current system sufficiently rewards affordability, reliability, and long-term customer value. That is an important discussion. Under a traditional regulatory structure, utilities may earn returns on approved capital investments, but that can create a public concern. Does the system reward utilities primarily for building more infrastructure, or does it also reward them for lowering customer costs, improving efficiency, and preventing unnecessary expenses? New Jersey has also advanced energy storage initiatives. Battery storage can absorb power when electricity is less expensive or demand is lower and release it during periods of peak demand. The first phase of the state's storage program was structured to use existing funds without creating a new charge on customer bills. State officials argue that storage may eventually reduce peak-related electricity costs. That sounds promising, but every energy initiative must still pass a full financial test. How much will it cost? Who receives that incentive? How long will the equipment operate? How much dependable electricity will it provide during critical hours? Will it actually reduce capacity expenses? And how will regulators verify the savings? Energy policy should not be evaluated solely by whether it is described as clean, traditional, renewable, or innovative. It should be measured against 5 standards: affordability, reliability, capacity, transparency, and most importantly, accountability. Segment 6, the latest oil price headline. Now let's move to oil. The U.S. Energy Information Administration released a major update only days before this episode. The EIA reported that Brent crude oil averaged approximately $85 per barrel in June 2026. That was $22 lower than May average and approximately $32 below the recent April peak. The agency now forecasted that Brent crude to average approximately $74 per barrel during the third quarter of 2026. That represented a substantial downward revision from its previous forecast that could provide some relief for gasoline and transportation costs. The EIA also expects lower crude prices to contribute to falling retail gasoline prices during the third quarter. But this does not mean oil is no longer a concern. The rapid movement from the April peak to the current forecast demonstrates exactly why oil is also unpredictable. Oil prices respond to wars and the Strait of Hormuz, sanctions, Iran, shipping disruption, Strait of Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz. I know I said it many times. Production decisions by oil companies, refinery problems, global demand, economic slowdowns. We're living it across the globe, and changes in inventory. A family may see prices fall for several months and assume the problem is over. Then one geopolitical event can reverse the trend. And oil affects far more than gasoline. It affects diesel. Diesel affects trucking. Trucking affects groceries, medicine, construction materials, and consumer products. Oil affects aviation, shipping, agriculture, plastics, packaging, manufacturing, emergency services, and home heating in parts of the Northeast. The effect on travels through the economy. First, it appears at the pump. Then it appears in delivery and transportation expenses. Finally, it appears in the price of products and services. So let me ask you, what is your personal pain point at the gas station? Not your account information, just the price. At what price per gallon do you begin changing your driving habits? $3, $4, $5? Comment with a number for me. That will help us understand when gasoline prices begin changing actual consumer behavior. Segment 7, the June 2026 jobs report. Now let's discuss employment. The latest headline from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics deserves our attention. The American economy added approximately 57,000 jobs in June 2026. The unemployment rate remains at 4.2%. Average hourly earnings increased, but overall job creation was limited compared with what a country of this size typically needs to comfortably absorb population and labor force growth. One report does not prove that the recession has begun. Employment reports are revised. Different industries experience different conditions. Healthcare and social assistance employment may remain relatively strong while other sectors weaken. But slower hiring matters. Most families do not need the entire country to enter a recession before they experience an economic crisis. They only need one layoff, one reduction in hours, one lost contract, one business closure, or one unexpected medical event. The national economy can avoid an official recession while your household experiences its own private recession. That is why the unemployment rate alone does not tell the entire story. We also need to examine how many jobs are being created. What type of jobs are they? Are wages keeping pace with household expenses? Are people working fewer hours? Are companies replacing employees who leave? Are entry-level opportunities disappearing? And how much work is being automated? If you have noticed hiring slowing in your industry, comment, hiring slow down. You do not need to name your employer. Please don't tag him. Tell us only the industry: retail, healthcare, technology, construction, hospitality, transportation, finance, media. Please tell me not media. Government, or another field. That information can help other viewers understand which sectors are feeling pressure first. Segment 8. AI may not take your entire job, but it can reduce hiring. Artificial intelligence does not need to eliminate an entire profession to disrupt employment. It only needs to reduce the number of people required to produce the same amount of work. Imagine a department that once required 5 employees. One person conducted research. One person reports. One created presentations. One managed basic customer communications, and one handled data entry and scheduling. With the right technology, perhaps 2 or 3 people can now perform much of that work. The company may not immediately terminate everyone. Instead, it may stop replacing employees who leave. It may reduce entry-level hiring. It may combine positions. It may expect each remaining employee to produce more. That is how displacement can happen quietly. See, we talk about employment or unemployment, but displacement is a key. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says increasing AI adoption and productivity gains are expected to dampen labor demands in several areas, including sales, design, and administrative support. At the same time, AI will increase demand in some technology occupations and in professions responsible for building, integrating, maintaining, and securing these systems. So the question is not simply, will AI take my job? The better questions are, which parts of my job can AI already perform? Which parts require human judgment? Which parts depend on trust? Which parts create measurable revenue? Which parts reduce risk? And can one AI-enabled employee now do what several people previously did together? This is the honest conversation every worker should have. Segment 9, how workers can protect themselves. So to remain competitive, build 5 capabilities. 1, AI literacy. Learn how to use AI effectively. Learn how to write clear instructions. Learn how to verify the output. Learn what confidential information should never be entered into a public system. And learn how to turn AI output into a complete professional workflow. 2, industry experts. Information is not the same as expertise. AI can generate a response, a professional understands whether the response is appropriate, legal, safe, or useful within the real world industry. 3, human trust. Communication matters. Relationship matters. Negotiation matters. Leadership matters. Empathy, humans, right? Empathy matters. People may accept automation for a routine question. They still want a trustworthy person when the stakes become serious. 4, accountability. See, AI can make a recommendation. A person must still own the outcome. Employees who can make sound decisions and accept responsibility will remain valuable. 5, revenue and risk impact. Understand how your work helps an employer make money, save time, retain customers, or reduce risk. During economic pressures, companies protect positions that are clearly tied to essential outcomes. Here's the next common question that I got for you. Has AI already changed how you perform your job? Comment, AI helps me when it has made you more productive. Comment, AI worries me when you believe it threatens your position. Or comment, both, when you see the opportunity and the risk. That may be the most honest answer for many people.
Still marketing your business like it's the Yellow Pages era? Welcome to ME Studios, where local solopreneurs and small business owners catch up with the digital world and take over it. We help you go from invisible to undeniable. Featured on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Plus, gain press exposure in over 100 to 300 major media outlets like Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, and the CW. Right here in Eatontown, New Jersey, just steps away from the soon-to-be Netflix studios, our multi-unit facility is built for creators, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Stop marketing like it's 1995. Start building your digital authority today with a team that gets it.
Segment 10, entrepreneurship is becoming economic insurance. This brings us to entrepreneurship. That's my language now. Let's talk. I'm not going to tell everyone to quit their jobs. That would be extremely irresponsible. Entrepreneurship involves real risk. Businesses fail 99% of the time. Revenue can be inconsistent. I live it every single month. Customers can leave. Boy, oh boy, they do that. And self-employment does not automatically create freedom. But entrepreneurial ability is becoming an important form of economic insurance. For many households, the right model may not be employment or entrepreneurship. It may be employment plus entrepreneurship. Maintain the primary income, build a second capability, test a service, find the first customer, learn how to sell. I cannot tell you how necessary that is in our day and age right now. Create a repeatable process, then scale based on evidence. A second income stream does not need to replace your salary immediately. Its first purpose is to reduce your total dependence on one employer. Entrepreneurship may mean consulting, tutoring, home services, photography, transportation, bookkeeping, cleaning, caregiving, digital products, content production, real estate services, mobile services, event support, fractional leadership, my favorite, AI implementation, or helping local businesses solve problems they do not have the staff or expertise to manage internally. The key is not to ask, what business sounds exciting? Here's what you need to ask. What costly, urgent, or recurring problem can I solve today? See, the strongest businesses often help customers earn money, save money, protect their health, protect their home, care for a family member or their business, reduce risk, meet legal requirements, or maintain essential operations. That is where real demand exists. So here is the entrepreneurship question. Because entrepreneurs sounds so cool, right? It's so cool, but we don't understand the full depth of it. Here's my question to you. What skill could you realistically turn into a second income stream today? Comment with this skill, not a full business plan. A comment with the skill. Cooking, coaching, design, cleaning, writing, repairs, transportation, teaching, sales, healthcare, technology, organization, whatever it may be. Someone reading the comment may need exactly what you know how to do. That is how economic opportunities sometimes begin. So let me hook you up. Put it right in the comments. Segment 11. Healthcare costs are a household economic issue. So healthcare is not a medical subject. It is one of the most important financial issues facing American families. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services report the U.S. healthcare spending increased by 7.2% in 2024, reaching approximately $5.3 trillion. That equals about $14,474 per person, approximately 18% of the entire U.S. economy. Out-of-pocket healthcare spending reached approximately $556 billion. And the pressure is not limited to the people without insurance. KFF reported in April 2026 that approximately 64% of adults were at least somewhat worried about affording healthcare for themselves and their families. 44% said it was somewhat or very difficult to afford their healthcare expenses. That means an insurance card does not necessarily equal affordable care. A household may still face monthly premiums, deductibles, co-payments, co-insurance, prescription expenses, out-of-network charges, and a maximum out-of-pocket amount that may reach thousands of dollars. The 2026 Affordable Care Act marketplace also demonstrates the pressure. KFF found that average premium payments among marketplace enrollees increased from approximately $113 to $178 per month, a 58% increase, while average deductibles also rose substantially. Some consumers selected plans with higher deductibles to reduce the monthly premium, while others dropped coverage. CMS reported that 23.1 million people enrolled in marketplace coverage for 2026, with a large share receiving financial assistance. That demonstrates both the importance of the marketplace and the number of families who depend on subsidies to make coverage possible. The real affordability test is not, do you have insurance? It is, can you afford the premium? Can you afford to use the plan? Can you meet the deductible? Can you afford your prescription? And can you absorb the maximum out-of-pocket exposure without destabilizing your household? Segment 12, healthcare sharing and impact health sharing. So because of conventional healthcare coverage is so expensive, some households are evaluating alternatives such as direct primary care, community health centers, telehealth, prescription assistance programs, and healthcare sharing arrangements. One example is impact health sharing. We must describe this accurately. Healthcare sharing is not health insurance. Members contribute monthly amounts that may be used to share eligible medical expenses among the membership community. Some households may be attracted by potentially lower monthly costs, provider flexibility, a community-based structure, and an alternative for self-employment individuals or families who find conventional insurance unaffordable. However, healthcare sharing does not provide the same legal and contractual guarantees as regulated healthcare insurance. Payment of medical bills is not guaranteed. Certain services may not be eligible. Pre-existing conditions may be treated differently. Prescription coverage may be limited. Maternity, preventative care, mental health treatment, and substance use care must be evaluated carefully. Before joining any healthcare sharing program, ask, what is my initial unshared amount? How are pre-existing conditions handled? Which prescription qualify? Are preventative visits shareable? How are emergency services handled? What are the limits? Which procedures are excluded? How are disputes resolved? And what happens when an expense is determined to be ineligible? Healthcare sharing may fit some households. It may be completely inappropriate for others. Family managing chronic illness, expensive prescriptions, or anticipated medical procedures may have very different needs from a healthy self-employed adult. No one should cancel existing insurance until they completely understand the replacement and the financial exposure. This discussion, too, is educational. It is not individualized medical insurance, legal, or financial advice. So make sure you get educated on your own with your own professionals. Segment 13, is a recession coming? I hated saying that. Now we need to address the question behind many of these concerns. Are we heading toward a recession? As of July 12th, 2026, the United States has not been officially declared to be in a recession. The unemployment rate is 4.2%. The country continues to add jobs, although June's increase was limited. Some industries continue growing. So it would be inaccurate to say that a recession is guaranteed. But the warning signals should not be ignored. Job creation has slowed. Inflation remains a concern. Healthcare costs are rising. Electricity costs have increased. Families are carrying expensive debt. AI is changing workforce requirements, and global energy markets remain vulnerable to geopolitical disruption. The more concerning possibility for households is not necessarily a textbook recession in which every price declines. It is a period of weak growth combined with stubbornly high essential costs. Imagine fewer employment opportunities while electricity, housing, insurance, and healthcare remains expensive. That combination can be extremely painful. Preparation does not require predicting the exact date of the next downturn. You do not need to know precisely when it will rain to understand the value of preparing for a leak in your roof. Segment 14, the household budget certainty plan. So what can families do now? So step 1, calculate your essential monthly number. Determine what your household must spend to remain functional for 1 month. Include housing, utilities, food, transportation, insurance, healthcare, childcare, minimum debt payments, and essential communication. Exclude optional entertainment and discretionary purchases. That is your household survival number. Step 2, evaluate recurring bills. Review electricity, natural gas, cell phone services, internet, insurance, subscriptions, debt payment that you are incurring right now, healthcare, and business services. Do not assume a bill is competitive because it has been automatically paid for several years. Step 3, build the first emergency layer. Do not become discouraged when 6 months of savings feels impossible. Begin with the first target, $500, then $1,000, then 1 month of essential expenses. Progress creates protection. Step 4, reduce high interest debt. Credit card balances become especially dangerous when income changes. The balance remains, the interest continues, and available credit can disappear when you need it the most. Step 5, create another source of income. Do not wait until a job loss to discover what else you can do. Test a skill now. Find one customer. Build the process before the emergency. Step 6, I hate to say it, learn AI. I'm pursuing my PhD in AI and business science because of that. See, use of AI to become most productive, to verify its output, to protect confidential information, but do not remain technologically frozen while the workplace changes around you. Step 7, understand healthcare exposure. Know your premium, your deductible, your provider network, your prescription rules, your co-insurance, that's a secretive one, and your maximum out-of-pocket amount. Step 8, understand energy agreements. Separate supply from delivery. Compare the supplier rate with the utilities price to compare. Read the term, check the cancellation fee, and understand what happens when the agreement expires. Step 9, protect your employability. Yeah, that's a word. Update your resume, buddy. You might need to. Build your professional network. Document measurable achievements, maintain references, and learn skills that connect your work to revenue efficiency or risk reduction. Step 10, have the family conversation. Discuss what would happen if income changed, which costs would be reduced first, who has access to financial accounts, what insurance is active, where are the most important documents, what backup income options exist for us. A crisis is not the time to begin locating information. Segment 15, the everyday bill community check-in. Now I want to do something practical. Instead of simply ending this episode after giving you a list of problems, we created an everyday bill evaluation. My team and I created this to help households identify areas creating the greatest pressure on their monthly budget. It may include categories such as electricity, natural gas, communications, insurance, healthcare related expenses, household services, or other recurring costs, whatever it may be. The survey link is available in the description, or we may even pin it in the comments. It's a job form. It's not an application. It's not an enrollment or anything. It just gives us a scope of what you're struggling with, and we will do the work. In other words, complete the survey. Doesn't guarantee you anything. No savings, no nothing, but it does not obligate you either to anything that you are committed to or you're considering to purchase. And it does not mean that every service or alternative will be operating for you or your household. So the purpose is to help our team understand the pressure points and where they are. Based on the information you voluntarily submit, one of our team members may reach out to discuss categories that you selected and explore legitimate options that are available for predictable or budget certainty. We'll discuss rates, savings, services, and eligibility that will vary based on your location, existing providers, uses, contract terms, household circumstances, and applicable program requirements. Keep in mind, we don't own any of this. We're just doing our homework for whatever is available in the marketplace. Never post account numbers, social security numbers, medical records, or other sensitive information in the public comments. Please use the secure survey for the requested information. But before you complete it, I want you to participate in our community check-in. Do me a solid. Comment with one word, energy, when electricity or natural gas is your greatest concern. Healthcare, when premiums, deductibles, or medical expenses are the greatest concern. Debt, when credit cards or loan payments are creating the most pressure. Housing, when rent, mortgage payments, taxes, or home costs are the primary concern. Groceries, when food prices are forcing your family to make difficult choices. Income, when job security or insufficient income is the greatest concern. Or ready, when you want to evaluate your household expenses and begin building a budget certainty plan. Our team may respond with the survey link and the appropriate next step. No pressure, no public financial details, no enrollments to anything, just a starting point to see how we can truly help you. In closing, your monthly bills are not merely expenses. They are information. They show you where your household is vulnerable. They show you which costs are rising. They show you how much flexibility remains, and they show you where action may be required. The goal is not to panic. The goal is to pay attention. New Jersey electricity prices are being affected by regional capacity costs and rapidly growing power demand. And it happens in all different states. Artificial intelligence is creating economic opportunities while simultaneously reducing demand for certain type of work. Oil prices have fallen from their recent peak, but global volatility remains. The June jobs report showed slower payroll growth. Healthcare spending has reached $5.3 trillion, while millions of insured and uninsured Americans still struggle to afford care. None of these facts mean the financial disaster is inevitable. They mean that preparation is rational, lower and necessary fixed costs. Understand your contracts, build cash reserves, reduce inexpensive debt, learn AI, protect your employability, develop another source of income, or many if you could, review healthcare options carefully and create the family plan before the emergency. The household's best position for what comes next may not be those with the highest income. They may be those households with the lower fixed expenses, more than one income source, useful and adaptable skills, strong relationships, accessible emergency savings, and a clear plan. Complete our Everyday Bills Evaluation Survey using the link in the description and pinned in the comments. And one of our team members may reach out to discuss the area you selected and available options for creating greater budget certainty. And before you leave, answer us one last question. What is the number one financial pressure facing your household right now? Don't forget, just a comment of the actual pain point. No bills, no information. Energy, healthcare, debt, housing, groceries, transportation, insurance, or income. Then send this episode to one person who has recently said, I make money, but somehow it is all gone by the end of the month. Subscribe to the ME Show for evidence-based conversations about business, technology, public policy, and the economic issues affecting everyday Americans. I'm Ali Mehdaoui. This is the ME Show. Do not wait for a national recession to discover the weaknesses in your household budget. Build your options now. I will see you on the next episode.
Still marketing your business like it's the Yellow Pages era? Welcome to ME Studios, where local solopreneurs and small business owners catch up with the digital world and take over it. We help you go from invisible to undeniable. Featured on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Plus, gain press exposure in over 100 to 300 major media outlets like Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, and the CW. Right here in Eatontown, New Jersey, just steps away from the soon-to-be Netflix studios, our multi-unit facility is built for creators, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Stop marketing like it's 1995. Start building your digital authority today with a team that gets it.